Hey guys, welcome back to Trekyards. He's Commander Cocky.
He's got a Foley.
And today we're talking about episode 9 of season 5 of Discovery Legrange Point. And, anyway.
We made it.
Penultimate. We're almost there. Almost there.
The last episode and the epilogue segment after it. And it's not at all a busy 2 weeks for us. This is a great time for this climactic moment. But oh well. Oh well. So Stuart, what do you think of the climactic part 2 to live up to expectations as a one before the end kind of should?
I think it did. Why are the good ones so short? I really enjoyed this one, actually, especially the ending. A lot of action going on. We got to see Discovery, firing, doing its thing. Plus, it's got that new, tucking the cells up kind of deal going in. I liked that a lot. The whole progenitor shuttle size thing that was built 800 years ago was interesting. It's a portal. That's neat. This one had a good pace to it for me, and I really enjoyed it. Some of the Breen stuff was a little bit Other than that, I think it was very well done. And I'm looking forward to the next one. It had me ramped up at the end, oh, seriously? That's the end? And this one came in at 46 minutes. Some of the other ones were 57 minutes. I just wish this one would have had a little bit more, I was pretty excited by this one. And you can tell they brought Saru back, they brought the president back. It's the last two we're going to have people there. I was disappointed there was no Admiral Vance, but he was mentioned. I'll tell the Admiral, but that's it. It'll be interesting to see where it goes, because it was quite an ending. But anyway, how about you? What did you think of this episode?
I thought the last 5 minutes were pretty great.
There you go.
They certainly did a good job on that. But I think for an episode that implies a lot's going to happen, they kind of undid a lot of last week's build-up within the first 3 minutes, reset again to the status quo, and lost all that fun development. And then once we've lost that development, now we're just going to take the Breen ship for 35 minutes, and it was relatively boring. It should have been actiony and interesting, but it really kind of wasn't for me. Until the end, then it hit. So it was we lost the first bit of opportunity, and then sort of boring, and then action. Very odd episode, because I was really excited for what I thought the episode was going to be, which was we find the device. It's kind of like last season, a mystery, sort of fun, sci-fi thing. Discovery's lost a spore drive. The Breen are going to be away, all these fun build-ups. Spore drive back instantly. The Breen can't detect the spore jump now for some reason. The Breen don't leave for no reason. Loads of little plot problems, why? I don't know. There's no reason for a lot of this stuff. And the ship's instantly back. Even though being crushed last week, it can now survive a firefight, but not. You know what I mean? That was a really fun end. And they threw all of it away just to get back to, we're going to attack the Breen with an effortless beam-in.
It wasn't effortless. They lost a shuttle in the process.
Which the Breen didn't detect for some reason. They would have.
Well, with the gravitational forces there, maybe not, but...
I was just very strange. It went straight from interesting to status quo. And I still don't buy that the lady is commanding the Breen. They're a xenophobic race. That they've jumped that shark more than they should have. It's weird. But they left themselves not enough episodes to get this into the place they have to be, I think. The progenitor portal stuff, all that was pretty interesting. But the fish out of water stuff wasn't particularly interesting. It was okay, but it wasn't great. And then all the stuff with the Saru and the president, I would have cut. None of it added for me. That was part of the boring stuff, right? Maybe the first scene, but and then they'd have earlier this episode they said we can't get to them in time, but now the pathway drive can get to them in time, or someone else in time. It's but they're just near the Badlands. They're really central central quadrant. You could
We saw Voyager as well.
We saw Voyager's belly. I was happy for the 1.7 frames, 1.7 seconds. I just thought it was going to be a much more action-packed, interesting episode. And the last 5 minutes was. That lived up to what it could have been. And I'm so glad, having seen the next week on teaser, that...
I haven't seen that yet.
Ready Room. That the Breen hasn't been destroyed, because I would have laughed out loud at the stupidity if that single phaser blast in the bridge area would have destroyed it, which it wouldn't have. So I'm glad it's not out of the equation. Because it was what? Would have felt too Hollywood, daft Marvel if that happened.
I never even thought that was going to be a thing.
Well, there's lots of explosions. It was a big enough, oh no, moment, right? Mm-hmm. That they could have said, oh, it's destroyed.
Got Reese doing more things, which is great. They've really kind of built up Reese's character, so he actually feels like one of the crew now. Like when you look back in Discovery, you'll be like, "Hey, I remember Reese."
Yep, he went from 2 lines to 7 lines.
Yeah.
So then that is an improvement, but of course everyone else is gone. All the season 1ers, all the season 2ers, all the season 3ers, everyone is gone except him. He's the last remaining bridge officer of the original batch.
Yeah.
And not even a moment of fan service for them. I'm guessing perhaps we'll get some sort of academy room scene like at the start of the season where everyone's going to be in the room. But no, like Kolb wasn't brought back, so I doubt they'll bring back the extras of our bridge crew.
I'm wondering if one of the scenes they filmed when they found out they were being canceled, like 20 minutes of extra footage, was way back when they said they're taking the ISS Enterprise back to storage. They deserve it. They do. It kind of feels like that might be one of the added scenes because we just forgot about those characters.
That is true. You could film new stuff at mid-episode. That is very fair.
Yeah.
But I felt just missing out because these are new fine cast members for the bridge, but they're all extras. Ostensibly, they are non-characters, and it feels sad because one left. It's an action episode. We're not getting Zahil back. We're not getting all these threads of past seasons, including the bridge crew. We're just not getting them in a meaningful way. It's like, oh man. What do you think of the Saru and Adrena, whatever her name is? What do you think of those scenes? There's quite a few of them.
They were, for me, they were fine. It was interesting that she's like, I'll make up a list, and he's like, no, I want to volunteer for all these different reasons, and it's like, okay. And I would have added in Saru's line there, it's the logical choice, just to kind of, but they address that later, where he's like, Vulcans aren't the only ones that can separate their emotions from. I thought those were all fine. They didn't bother me at all, and I don't think they slowed anything down for me. I've kind of missed Saru, so it was great to see him back.
It's just they were a 2 out of 10 action for an action episode. The post-final, the pre-final, they felt super out of place and slowed down the plot, and I don't even care, really, if the big Breen lady comes in. She's not been subbed as a villain, really. Like, there's nothing about this new Breen that's going to add anything, particularly, so them go off to negotiate with her doesn't mean anything, really. So it's just padding. It's just to get them back in. Like, they're fine for first half, but second half we really focused and really, like, this is plot, this is action, main, and they're just not any of that. And they're fine scenes, but they're like episode 6, not episode 9. Like the focus on the main plot. Give us enough big stuff. It just felt out of place to me.
I disagree a little bit, but
especially for an episode that's 45 minutes. If 11 of that is not even main plot, I mean, you've only really got a prodigy level of main plot. Again, wrong episode. Or make it 59 and have more real plot,
I guess Adira got something to do.
Yeah.
Basically volunteered to go over and just watch Reese beat people up and look terrified. And I'm like, well, let your symbiote, like, years of knowledge kick in and actually, like, do something. But no. Again, they forgot about that. So, yeah.
And of course, while you sort of do get the mannerisms in the costumes, I'm sure they were. In reality, obviously, the actors were just sitting in a soundstage with a piece of cloth over their faces, and that's how they did build those scenes. So they didn't even get to act together.
Well, you could tell Adira walks funny compared to everybody else. You could see that one scene with the Breen costume. It's like,
the height differential is a bit obvious when you've got the clearly men stunt people, and then the cast of non-men. It's like, there's which I thought we were gonna get an even short for a Breen. I thought that would
have been hilarious
because that's such an obvious line. Because they are obviously significantly shorter than every other Breen, which had a very uniformity. Not to say they can't all be different sizes, but like they really stood out as being, you're not the standard Breen, are you? Which is fine. Yeah, and it was nice to see them at least be on location. But like I said, the fact they were in the suits meant they weren't really on location. And it was very odd to have. I think they did a very good job considering, but having Book and Burnham have their emotional scene, but in 2 separate filming sessions, talking to a camera. You know what I mean? Like that, they couldn't put the energy of a true conversation into it, but they did as good as they could have done, considering the limitations of being in 2 Iron Man suits.
Well,
good job considering.
That thing actually bothered me. You're taking this. I mean, she even says there sounded like there was a lot of ADR lines in this episode, from a lot of different people. But Human says this isn't the best time, but I need to tell you something. It's like, no, the beginning of this episode. Okay, the end of the last episode, they had 5 hours for repairs, 1 hour to go do the thing, and this one is like almost everything's repaired, so the 5 hours have passed. Why not take that time to tell him this, as opposed to in the middle of a mission on an enemy ship? So that bugged me.
That's Discovery in a nutshell. As they do that all the time. It's a super common trope.
Yeah.
Because I really wished, because again, next week it should be all action, or it's going to be disappointing. Like, there's a certain pace you'll need to have. It would have been nice they'd just gone to the I love you too, and then like really crisp, simple, and that would have felt appropriate for me. Like, simple, move on. Next week they're back together. But it makes me really wonder: do we need that arc this season to reset them back to not together, to have them will they won't they for a season and then back together? Like, you could have just not done that and gained back half an hour of screen time that I would think would have been better served to any other plot. You know, like last season, it's going around the roundabout of, did it add anything? Not really. Could have done more with it? Yes. I don't know. What do you think now we're seeing sort of the end of that arc?
Well, they can tell they didn't know this was going to be their final season when they wrote this season, so that's my feeling on it. I think it plays fine, but yeah, if they knew it was a final season, I wish they would have done something different with it. But I think it's fine. She's definitely given Book those looks, like I think they're going to obviously get back together.
They better.
Or we won't get an answer to that because, again, they didn't know this was the final season, so I don't know. Yeah, I think it's fine, honestly. I don't have a problem with that either, which is odd for me. But the one thing I did hate was when they were doing at the beginning where they were showing the repairs and stuff, and there's still like oxygen tanks on the walls with like modern just twisty things. It's like, seriously? Your ship's been upgraded and refitted, but in the 32nd century, and you still got all that stuff on board. That annoyed me, but that was just a small little nitpicky thing from a guy that likes tech. I don't know. Yeah,
they haven't changed the sets in any way, so that's all the same. Not a dot replicable matter in sight, which is their one gimmick, which they've entirely forgotten about after like the third time they used it, and a little bit at the start of the season. And it was funny. And you often think it's more framing than anything else, but to have that one scene, you go through the corridor and like 8 extras and all fixing with like blowtorches one thing each. And it's like, I don't think this one corridor has 8 damages that need 8 of your like 70-person crew to get the ship. I don't think that's the important corridor that happens to be walking through, but it's just for the extras, right? It's fine, just and like I say, really let me down. I was so excited for them to have not Spore Drive, limited tech, like give us a bit of an interesting thing, but the ship was as soon as they get past that, and even the black hole bit, which looked fantastic, there's zero sense of it's damaged. It is back. Every ability back. It can cloak, it can warp, it can Spore Drive, it can shoot, it can take fire. What was the point of last week then? Like, really?
Spore Drive still wasn't 100% though. They point that out.
Well, you say that, but they made a big point that they jumped in and it got them like 30 meters that way, and they impulsed in a minute. Like it wasn't. I thought they were going to be like a light year away, but it was. I mean, in cosmic space
like
terms,
30,000 kilometers or something.
I mean, that's nothing, right? I mean, good for Stamets. That's kind of incredible. I sort of commend them for ending the season at a binary star, but that's kind of cute, and having the thing blow up the way it did, that's staying there. So they start and end at binary star. Nice. I like it. Good visuals. But it also made me wonder, that's incredibly dangerous. One black hole is kind of endgame.
Yeah.
2 black holes. Yes, I get the middle bit. That gravity fine. There's a null point. That's fine. But like they weren't in that for a bit. That bit, I felt they dealt with that better than the Badlands. I don't think Badlands are more dangerous than a black hole's gravity. Don't think that's the case. And it felt more dangerous last week. You know?
Yeah. The Tilly and Rainier scenes, I think, were good. I did enjoy those. Rainier actually sitting in the chair finally.
Yep.
And that being addressed too. Like, yeah, he avoids it like the plague. We've all noticed. That was an earned moment, I think, for him to finally just sit down.
It was good, but it made me realize what was his purpose this season. Like, we had such interesting hopes 10 weeks ago with his introduction about these points of butting heads and being the foil. He's just sort of been part of the crew, and now at the end he's doing something. Like, he's been good the whole way, but I'm wondering why they even needed him. Because he's, you know what I mean? Like, there was no thing he did.
Yeah. Not yet. I mean, maybe next. Because he knows the other Primarch's coming now. And
Yeah,
he's the one that got issues with.
Yeah, I think it'll be phenomenal next episode because Burnham's doing. Yeah, but like it's weird to have just 2 moments in 10 episodes to make a character just for that. Again, structurally, it's a bit of an odd thing to do, right? Because you could like had Vance agree to decommission down to a. You could have had all these other things and bring another character, or Bryce take over, or Reese take. They could have had someone in the cast come in and do the job conceptually without too much change.
Again, didn't know it was their last season, so they introduced this new character, give them the season build up, and then who knows what they were going to do.
It's just odd to have them sort of go into the not background, just like there and then.
Yeah. So we've got 2 Breen and Maul and Burnham now in this portal.
We do. Yeah, we do.
Burnham knows the.
It's true. I forgot about those guys.
Burnham knows the clue, the whatever. I'm sure the Breen 2 soldiers will be probably dead by the time.
Well, a soldier and a scientist.
Yeah. Yeah. So that'll be interesting as a jumping off point. I didn't expect that I liked the key idea and the way that all worked, but yeah, having a portal in there was an interesting idea. I didn't really necessarily expect that. I also didn't expect the scientists to have built the 800 year, like the thing. I expected it to be like actually, I guess that's where the portal goes to the progenitor's actual like. So it's not the final. It's weird. I want to see what's going on, and they're saving it for the last episode again.
Yeah, I was excited for a 2-parter, not a 1-parter, and then a final part, because we got all the screen time was to get us somewhere, but we already got to the place we were meant to get to. It felt like this is meant to be okay. So there's a space station, and we're going to meet a progenitor, and like, now I don't mind it being abstract. In that, okay, I'll be to another dimension or another universe or something bigger, and a portal is a simple tool. That's actually kind of an interesting idea. But again, I would have restructured the episode. Maybe the last scene, you've got 10 minutes to spare, as you said, you've got easily 10 minutes of extra screen time you could have thrown in. Next scene be, and hopefully not a white void, and bloody hell, I hope it's not the Discovery Bridge again, because they're going to tap into Burnham's psyche and show her most comfortable scenario. Yeah, don't have that be again, because the 10C did that last year. And it's cheap, it's fine, but it'd be nice if we see a progenitor in the makeup, saying hi, something. But now they've got literally everything to do next week. And I do not think for a second they can satisfyingly do every single plot point in one go. That's why I was hoping to be a 2-parter and kind of really give us a nice vibe. But it really is a 1-parter and a 1-parter. Again, structurally weird is what I'm trying to say. It's a structurally weird episode. They padded it with a lot of stuff they didn't need when they could have done more main plot.
Yeah, I kind of addressed that at the beginning. Like, I thought it was enjoyable. Like, I did enjoy the episode. I really did. And the shorter length was good. And at the end, I was like, woo. So, but I did say some of the Breen stuff was a little bit, eh.
The thing is, if this had been episode 8, perfect. Because
I agree with that,
would have been short, they're saving money for the last 2-parter, movie length, bosh. But it's 9. That's not a good one for 9. That's a perfect 8. That's more my feeling for this, right? But the ending 5 minutes was really good. it was a really good 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's a good
overall, the feel for the whole episode for me was like, yay. But I've only seen it the once. So once I see it more than once, it'll be interesting to see. Like when we do our live later today, it'll be interesting to see how I feel then, because I would have seen it 3 times at that point. So
there's just a lot of redundancy that I wouldn't have placed in 9. I would have placed in 8. And I think this is one of our biggest things this year was just compress 2 down into 1. Just do just that, right? And it'll give us a final big 2-parter. The game is set. The chessboard is set.
Put your moves down below in the comment section. How would you move the chess pieces? What do you think of the way they've played the game so far? Comment down below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit the like button and click the notification bell icon so you don't miss lives or edited content, which we like to do all the time because we're Trekyards.
And watch the retrospective Discovery content when we get to it and see how does the season truly shake up. And are our first scores reflective of we've now seen the season, we know how it plays out scores. We'll find out. And if you want to support what we do here, Patreon is a fantastic way each and every month, or join the channel on YouTube, same thing, but different side of a coin. Patreon, join, same thing, but different. Or PayPal, trekyards@hotmail.com, or you can super chat on live, or super thanks on a video, including random videos, like, random, a Breen video we've done before. Go help, It all helps, so thanks in advance.
That's right. So until next time, he's Commander Calkins.
He's got a 30.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.